Good morning, everybody. Okay, so we are going to start our literacy lesson now. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be thinking about the superhero that we were working on last week, and then we took a lesson to design our very own superhero, didn't we? Today what we're going to be doing is pulling all of that learning together about our superhero, and we're going to be writing a descriptive paragraph about our superhero. Okay, so I'm going to work with you on this to show you what we need to do, and then it will be your turn. So what is description? So if you want to have a little think about that, we've done a lot before, especially when we were learning before about settings, when we were doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You will remember description. We spoke a lot about description. I'm going to leave you there to have a little think about what does description mean, and I've put a picture there for you, and could you think of some ways to describe this picture for me, or what you can see in the picture? Okay, everybody. So hopefully you were saying that description is when we describe something. So that is when we use all of our senses to talk about how something looks, how something sounds, how something feels, all of those wonderful things. And there's different techniques that we know how to use and skills that we've learned to describe things. But first of all, we're just going to work on this one together. So I'm looking at this picture and I can see a bus. Okay, so a bus might be how I start. So have I described it? Not really, because bus is a noun, because it's a person, a place, or a thing. Okay, so I have a bus. Now I want to start describing this. So I'm looking, and the first thing that I can think of is the colour. Okay, so let's go with it is a red bus. Okay, so have I described what's in front of me? Yes, I've described this. It is a red bus. Okay, but I do not think that that is the most interesting sentence that I could have thought of to talk about this. Okay, so I'm going to keep looking and keep thinking. I'm not going to spoil it now because it's on the next slide, about any skills that you guys know of that we can use to help expand our description of things. Okay, so I'm thinking we've already used an adjective, because red is an adjective. Who remembers what an adjective is? It describes the thing. It's a describing word, so it describes anything, okay? Any word you can think of to describe a thing, which I've done by saying that the bus is red. But what I want to think about now is how to just expand this and make it more interesting. So I'm thinking the bus is pretty big. You know, when you're out walking on the street and cars drive by you, there might be bikes, there might be cars. They're all kind of the same height as an adult, aren't they, if not smaller. It's rare to see such a huge bus. So I'm going to now say, I'm going to extend this and say it is a huge bus, which is a beautiful shade of red. So you see what I did there? I've taken what I think I can see and what I want to describe, but I've added more to it. So when I'm saying, rather than saying it is the colour red, I've said a beautiful, so another adjective there, shade. We've spoke about this before when we were talking about using colours. Shade is a word that you can use because in the colour red, like we were learning, you have different shades of that colour. So this is a beautiful shade of red, showing that I really like it. And I've added it is a huge bus, okay? So rather than just saying, oh, it's a bus, I've said it is a huge bus, which is a beautiful shade of red. That is the description that we want happening, okay? So I'm going to take you to the next slide, and this is going to be your success criteria for today. Don't panic, because I'm going to do a model right for you on the next one, but we're just going to recap on these. So first of all, in description, we would like a range of sentence starts. So thinking about, you are going to be writing about your superhero. So you might not use the word my superhero, you might use their name. So mine's called Super Cat, cat with a K, because it's based upon Miss Foster, whose first name begins with a K. So I would say Super Cat is super cat loves in my sentence starts, okay? You guys might be able to think of even better sentence starts, but I've just given you two there to prompt you that we don't want it always to say my superhero, my superhero. We want a nice range there. Really express how excited you are to describe this wonderful superhero that you created. This is your creation that you've now got a chance to really show off. Then adjectives, obviously those describing words, using all of your senses that you can. You know, you can even go as far, because we are imagining this, you could even say how they smell, how they feel, you know, how their costume might feel, their cape might be silky and smooth, you know, so real time to get all those wonderful words in. Expanded noun phrases. So this is when you use an adjective before a noun. So an example of this is green boots. So Super Cat is wearing boots. To add an expanded noun phrase, I would say Super Cat is wearing green boots, okay? Remember, you can add more than one adjective. So you might say Super Cat is wearing green, comma, beautiful boots, okay? Verbs, so the doing words. So when Super Cat is running, she has a huge orange ball of fire flying out of her cape, flying out of her beautiful cape. So you can keep thinking about it and adding more adjectives and descriptive words. Adverbs, as we know, they describe the verb. So as Super Cat was running quickly, as Super Cat was flying carefully. It just adds further description so that we build the picture in our head. Conjunctions, any conjunctions to take two sentences and to join them together to make one longer expanded sentence. And punctuation, of course, as always. Full stops, capital letters, exclamation marks. So now we've gone through this, I might flick back to that, but I'm going to give you a model word example. So this is the picture of Super Cat, which is the superhero that I am going to describe today. Okay, so I'm going to start. So Super Cat is an extremely fun superhero because, so straight away I've got in a conjunction in that one. So when I'm looking back here, I'm thinking tick, I've got one conjunction. Remember, we try to get two of each of these if we can, but not to worry if not. Super Cat is an extremely fun superhero because when she is, I think that's going to disappear, I'll pop it over there. When she is flying carefully, I've got my adverb in there, she glides through the air as smooth as butter. Okay. So I need to think of a new sentence start. So my fantastic superhero is wearing yellow heavy boots and a this is a top with a gold belt that shines like the sun. So sometimes you're going to have to think, and remember to reread the sentences that you've already written to check where you could add anything, check if you need to change anything. But when you read it back, it should feel really descriptive. So imagine they haven't even got the photo there. So I'm obviously showing you the photo because you will have drawn yours on purple mash or on paper at home. But so when I read this to you, Super Cat is an extremely fun superhero because when she's flying carefully, she glides through the air as smooth as butter. My fantastic superhero is wearing yellow heavy boots and a top with a gold belt that shines like the sun. So it's really descriptive. So the idea is, like we always say, if an alien were to land in our classroom, say you were to read your description of your superhero to them, they're going to know exactly what they are like in their head from what you've written and what you've told them. Okay, so I've just done a little quick example there. Obviously, you can do as much more as you need to. And then looking back here, it's going to be your turn. So you've got your success criteria. I've put it on the top of the sheet that I've put on the Google Docs for you guys to write on. So if you just follow this along and keep referring back to this to help you with your writing, I think you're going to come up with some fantastic descriptive paragraphs. I'm really excited to read them, guys. So good luck.